Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Nicholas Porcelli, welcoming you to another Wednesday edition of FSU Weather. Right here, we've got a beautiful look at Doak Campbell Stadium. We've got clear skies throughout, just like it has been for most of the day today. It's really nice temperatures at 79 and only a slight breeze from the north-northwest at 9 miles per hour. And for the most of the region here in the Big Bend, it's been really beautiful temperatures. T-shirt and shorts weather. It's been absolutely beautiful. Here in Tallahassee, we've got 79. Over here, down by the coast, it's a little bit cooler due to that sea breeze effect. And for our future radar, we do not anticipate any sort of showers or precipitations. There's just a little bit of a pop-up right here in central, near Lake City. But other than that, clear skies throughout. And for tonight's headlines, we'll be looking at the brief dip in temperatures going into the Halloween weekend, as well as two disturbances we're looking at in the tropics and some of the most memorable Halloween weather events we've had here in the last several decades. All that and more on FSU Weather.
Thank you so much for joining us on the October 26th edition of FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Ryan Stern. Hope your week's been off to a great start. So far, we've made it past the hump. So we've got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got our local forecast. We'll get into that very soon. And then your Halloween weekend is coming up. Hope you make the most of it. We've also got the tropics. They're not quite dead yet. We've still got a couple of systems to keep our eye on, at least for the next few days. And then we're going to be taking a look at times that Mother Nature hasn't been so friendly when you're out trick-or-treating. We'll have a full breakdown of hurricane or snowstorms even that went through during trick-or-treating. So now we're going to pass off to Nico at the wall for a look at your local forecast.
Thank you, Ryan. So here we go. We got another view again of Doak Campbell Stadium. And like I was saying, it's going to be a beautiful afternoon sunset, 79 degrees. It's just been beautiful weather here in Tallahassee today. And our radar shows that we don't have any precipitation or clouds for the region at the moment, except for here by Lake City and Cross City. We've got just a pop-up of showers, but that's the only thing we're looking at on the radar right now. And for our current temperatures, it's been beautiful, 79 here in Tallahassee. It's been in the upper 70s to low 80s for most of the day. It's been really nice, cool temperatures for the Big Bend region. And as for our temperature almanac, it's been pretty much a little bit above average. Our high today was 82 and our low was 65, just right above average, but nowhere near like those hot and cold records from 2005 and 1931. And for our dew points, as you see that now that the front has passed, we are in a little bit drier dew points compared to the last couple of days. So we've got relatively dry here at 52 and 50 and 56 here in the Big Bend region, keeping things really nice and not so muggy like our friends farther south. And for our future radar, we do not anticipate any other storms or precipitation for the next several days. Just a couple clouds here down by the Big Bend region, but nothing much in the forecast. And as for tonight, we've got 49 degrees, clear skies, and just a slight breeze from the northwest. So it's going to be a really nice night. Looks like it's going to be really good for stargazing as well. And for tonight's forecast, for most of the region, it's going to be mostly hovering in the upper 50s for all of the Big Bend region, and we might see some clouds in our forecast. And for tomorrow's weather, we've got 82 degrees, pretty much a carbon copy of what we had today, slight winds from the northeast, and it's going to be, for what we can see, clear skies. And as for tomorrow's forecast, we can see 82 in Tallahassee, over here by the coastal regions, 77 Apalachicola, 79 in St. Mark's. That sea breeze is going to keep things a little bit cooler, but for most of the region, things are going to stay really nice temperatures. Again, nice t-shirt and shorts weather. It's going to be absolutely beautiful for the next several days in Tallahassee, and it's actually going to be really nice going into our weekend. Right here, as you can see, except for Sunday, we're going to see some showers right before Halloween. But temperatures are going to stay really nice for most of the week in our 80s throughout the week, and our lows are going to be 49, but then they're going to gradually go up into the 60s, but then dip back again during Halloween. So only Sunday is the day that you actually have to pay attention to, because the rest of the days are actually going to look really, really nice. Now I'm going to pass it off to Ryan for a look at our Florida weather.
Thank you so much, Nico. So yeah, the whole state is kind of a little bit of a different weather scenario. So we've got some good looking radar images across the area. So we saw a couple of showers pass through Bradford and Alachua County a little bit ago, but down the Gulf of Mexico, we are seeing a couple of showers start to pop the way up. In Tallahassee, though, we're looking pretty dry, pretty clear. Nothing really to see on radar. A couple of showers popping up near the coast, but overall, not too bad. Looking out at Lakefront Park, that looks absolutely gorgeous right now as the sun is setting over the res. 76 degrees, about 10-mile-per-hour wind. So keeping it kind of cool and comfortable along the res. Notice those storms did pass through Alachua and Bradford counties near I-75. Those storms pushing their way off towards St. Augustine, Jacksonville area. That's kind of really the only thing on radar to keep an eye on. 82 degrees right now in Gainesville. Some clouds are building, but overall, Gainesville looking really great for the next few days. So again, another look at the radar. We'll see these storms that just kind of popped up over the Gulf of Mexico, not really making its way on shore quite yet. It looks like they're going to fade before they get to the Gulf of Mexico. So Miami, sun's starting to set, looking absolutely gorgeous, 83 degrees. So if you're going to go watch Miami Heat, Florida Panthers, 83 degrees, looking absolutely gorgeous. A couple clouds to keep your eye on, winds about 6 miles an hour. So looking at the rainfall forecast, we'll see a couple pop-up showers near Pinellas and Hillsborough counties, and then most of the rainfall over the next couple of days is going to be over Seminole and Volusia County. So overall, our sea breeze thunderstorms are kind of going to provide that next little bit of rainfall for the area. Central Florida near I-4 corridor is seeing the most of it. So taking a look around the area, we've got some cooler temperatures up in Pensacola, about 70 degrees. Right now, seeing at 78 in Tallahassee, and then a little bit warmer in Jacksonville at 83 degrees. So looking quite warm. 82 in the City Beautiful, 78 down in Tampa. So Tampa sees some cloud covers, also seeing some cooler temperatures. That would be something that I think a lot of us would appreciate. A little bit of a relief from the warmer temperatures. Seeing at 78 in West Palm Beach, sunny, looks kind of like a carbon copy of Tallahassee. So looking very nice. 82 degrees down in Miami and 80 down in Key West, looking absolutely gorgeous. So we're looking for where the cold front has passed. You notice where it's lighter green, that's where it has passed. 52 current dew point in Tallahassee, 47 in Pensacola. That's where it's a little bit more comfortable out and about. So you'll notice the drier conditions, not as humid. Maybe even some chapstick will be needed in that area. But then as we get towards Jacksonville on south, dew point seeing in the high 60s, low 70s. That's where it's going to be a little more humid, and that's also where we're seeing some of our rain showers. Overall tonight, looking in the Panhandle, we're going to get into the upper 50s, but clouds will be around, kind of keeping us a little bit warmer. We'll see a couple of showers pass through Orlando. Tampa, you're looking pretty good, seeing about 71 degrees tonight. Overall, I think most of Florida, you could probably open up your windows, have a nice little night, just sitting inside with the windows open, nice little breeze. 76 is the forecast tomorrow in Pensacola. Overall, the whole state's looking pretty good. 84 degrees in Gainesville, 82 degrees out in Tampa, 87 in Fort Myers. So overall, just a gorgeous day to be out and about throughout the entire Sunshine State. I hope you have a great one. Off to Nico for a look around the rest of the area.
So we're going to be looking at the tropics right now, and it's late October. We're entering that final stretch of the Atlantic hurricane season. Hurricane season ends on November 30th, and it's definitely no chance to keep your guard down because for the first time in a couple weeks, the Atlantic Basin actually is showing some activity right now. And as we're looking at the Atlantic Basin right now, so all that moisture is kind of concentrated right here in the Western Atlantic, all the way from Venezuela all the way up to the Northeast. Right here back where we are right here in Florida, there's actually a high pressure system keeping this moisture and low pressure off our coast right now. And actually you can notice here, this is the little cold front that passed by right here. It's actually bringing some dry air into the region. But the two areas of concern we're looking at right now are right here down in the southern Caribbean and right here in the sort of Bermuda Triangle area. And the first disturbance we're looking at has a 40% chance of development over the next 48 hours and 50% chance development over the next 5 days. And the second disturbance we're looking at here right above Venezuela has a 0% chance of development in the next 48 hours, but a 40% chance of development in the next 5 days. So as we can see here, the Caribbean region is very warm. Sea surface temperatures are very conducive for development for this disturbance right here in the southern Caribbean, but the one in the north it's going to encounter some colder waters, so it might not be that conducive for development for disturbance number 1. But disturbance number 2 definitely sees a path towards strengthening right here. And we're looking at our water vapor imagery. As I said earlier, there's a lot of dry air being pushed into that moisture right here in the Caribbean. So that's definitely going to limit the development of disturbance number 2 right here below Puerto Rico, because as it interacts with this dry air, it's not going to be able to strengthen as it would be if it didn't have any of that dry air. Because looking at the sea surface temperatures, this thing would definitely blow up into a pretty strong system if it wasn't for this dry air. And as for our tropics overview, so we're looking at, so these 2 highlighted regions are definitely things you guys should keep paying attention to. The Atlantic hurricane season is not over, so these things could definitely bring some precipitation to the mainland here in the Americas. So the Caribbean disturbance should be monitored closely because the National Hurricane Center does think that it will develop to stronger despite these dry conditions over the Caribbean, and it has some gradual development in its future due to those strong sea surface temperatures. So I would like for you guys to please pay attention to these two systems. Now I'm going to pass it over to Ryan. And how are things looking over in the southeast?
The rest of the southeast is looking pretty good. We're seeing a couple of showers that are pushing through North Carolina, but right now, Gainesville, you're looking good, seeing about 82 degrees. Blacksburg, you're seeing pretty cool. Sunset's looking pretty great. 60 degrees in Blacksburg. And then also Atlanta, you're pretty cool, 58 degrees, but crystal clear day. Bowling Green, Kentucky, you're also a little bit on the cooler side, 56 degrees, but you're also pretty sunny. So overall in the southeast, what's the big weather story? Well, we're warm in Arkansas, but then that's kind of where it gets a little bit cooler as we get into Tennessee. 54 degrees right now in Nashville. Charlotte's sitting about 65. The Atlanta metro area is sitting about 57. The rest of the Sunshine State is looking pretty warm, but overall in the southeast, it's a different story, a little bit cooler. And you notice, I talked about the cold front a little bit earlier that is passing through Florida right now, and how we can kind of spot that with dew points. So where the cold front has passed through, you notice dew points in the 30s and 40s, but where the cold front is yet to pass through, Charlotte, Charleston, we're still seeing some higher dew points, which means it's going to be a little bit more humid throughout most of the area. So taking a look at radar, just looking pretty clear for the most part. That cold front not really bringing a lot of weather with it per se, just a couple of showers off the Florida Gulf Coast. I think the next cold front we see come through is going to have a little more weather with it. We did see some severe thunderstorm or tornado watch yesterday through much of Alabama and Mississippi. That never really produced anything, but there was a good line of storms that pushed through the southeast yesterday. So taking a look at futurecast, we'll notice a little bubble up of storms off the coast, and then our typical sea breeze thunderstorms over to central Florida, but that's really it. We'll notice this tropical feature off here, and then I also brought up our next cold front is going to be coming from the west. This is going to be our next kind of weather maker throughout much of the United States. This line of low pressure that's going to form over Dallas on Friday, and that's kind of going to bring storms into Louisiana, parts of Mississippi and Alabama as we get into the weekend. That's also going to make its way to Tallahassee come Sunday night. So that's where we're kind of going to see our next bubble up for storms. So again, looking at the rainfall forecast, we'll see some more rainfall over central Florida, but don't roll out a couple of storms in North Carolina, and also in the Nebraska and Dakotas, we're starting to see some showers. More on that in the national forecast. So overall tonight in Little Rock, we're seeing about 43 degrees. Nashville, you're going to be seeing at 42. So even though it might be kind of weather that's a little bit cooler, I still think having the windows open might be a great idea. 49 tonight in Tallahassee, so we are getting a little bit cooler in the rest of the area. Tomorrow, just looking great. 60s and 70s across the area with a great day ahead. Nico is going to talk more about Halloween storms that have impacted trick-or-treating.
Thank you, Ryan. So yeah, over the past, we've actually had quite a few interesting Halloween events going through the Americas. So one example is the 1991 Perfect Storm, which is actually the basis of the movie and book by the same name. I don't know if you guys have seen it, featuring George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg. It's one of my personal favorite movies. So the basis of this storm was that there was a really strong nor'easter affecting the New England region, and there was also a hurricane at that time, Hurricane Grace, and it got absorbed by the nor'easter and sort of created the perfect storm, as its namesake says. And here you can see the image of the perfect storm. So you can see a pretty developed eye and a pretty big wind field. So, and it actually was a pretty strong hurricane. And the Hurricane Center did not name this storm since it did not want to cause confusion with the nor'easter that was affecting the New England region at the time, and because this storm wasn't really supposed to affect much of that the mainland, but it actually did do quite a bit of damage. It caused $200 million in damages and killed 6 people aboard the vessel Andrea Gale, the fishing vessel that is followed in the movie The Perfect Storm. So this storm was really something that was really unprecedented and had never happened before. And this image that you're looking at is part of the 2003 Halloween solar storm, which is this unprecedented solar flare-ups from the sun that actually brought aurora borealis all the way down to Texas, which is where this image was taken. And just pretty remarkable images. I would have loved to see an aurora borealis this far south. And our last Halloween event that we're looking at is the 2011 Halloween nor'easter that brought record snowfall to much of the New England and North Atlantic regions. It brought 32 inches of snow to Massachusetts, and in Newark, it broke the record for October, the monthly snowfall. In one day, it brought over 5 inches of snow, and it caused $1 to $3 billion in damages, and that's the reason it was called White Halloween in 2011. So those are some of the interesting Halloween events we got going on today. So how about, Ryan, how's it looking over in National today?
Looking a little bit different than, for sure, the Halloween storms. I do remember the 2011 storm at the time. My uncle and aunt lived in Connecticut, and I remember hearing about that. I grew up in Illinois, and I remember some snow on Halloween, even having to wear some heavier winter gear. And where are we going to need some heavier winter gear this Halloween? I think we're going to need it through much of the Northwest. We're seeing about 52 degrees in Seattle. That seems a little chilly. 49 in Billings, 56 in Bismarck. Southern California looking really great. 63 over in San Francisco, 69 in Los Angeles. Overall, temperatures for this time of night, we're starting to get pretty comfortable through much of the United States. 51 in Chicago, seeing about 62 degrees in Kansas City. And then looking at the rest of the area, we did see some showers push through Michigan. Earlier today, 49 degrees in Detroit, seeing about 61 degrees in Boston, 64 in the nation's capital. So again, I brought up the cold front in the last little bit, and kind of paying attention to just where the dew points are a little bit more comfortable. So most of the United States is sitting in kind of the rust color, where it's very comfortable to be out and about, maybe even chapstick weather. I know when we kind of got in the dew points similar to this, I didn't have any chapstick with me, but the East Coast, we are starting to see a little bit more humidity, and that will kind of change as the cold front makes its way through. So that 60 in Boston is going to change a little bit as the cold front pushes its way through the area, bringing some cooler temperatures to the area. So wind speed-wise, we're seeing about 10 miles per hour in Seattle, 18, even gusts up to 14 in Los Angeles. So pretty gusty if you're over in the beaches of California. 8 miles per hour in the Front Range of Denver, 11 miles per hour in Albuquerque. But the rest of the area, at least the rest of the Midwest, is looking pretty calm. 5 miles per hour in Chicago, which Windy City doesn't look too windy right now. 6 miles per hour in Boston. 14 miles per hour in Atlanta is kind of the high spot in the southeast. It's getting pretty gusty over there. So taking a look at the surface map, we're going to see this low pressure system that's kind of bringing some snow, mixed precipitation, and some rain to Idaho, Montana, Wyoming. And then another kind of occluded front bringing some storms to Nebraska, even into South Dakota, making its way towards Iowa. But most of the Midwest is getting help from this high pressure system here. That's bringing some really nice weather, not really any precipitation other than what's going on in Nebraska. Texas, you're sitting in that high pressure area where the weather just looks really great right now. we'll see that cold front I brought up, and then out in front of it, kind of in Canada is where our precipitation is sitting. For the most part, we're looking pretty good. We'll see a couple of pop-up showers along the Carolinas, but that's all kind of associated with that cold front, just kind of outer bands of it. You notice that the rust color here, that's just kind of a drier area, not really too much precipitable water, I should say, and then a little bit more water in the atmosphere towards the northeast. Also some more water in the atmosphere looking over towards the Dakotas, even in the Nebraska where I did mention the rain a little bit ago, and the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains. So Pacific Northwest, we typically see weather like this where it's a little bit rainy, and then the rest of the area looking pretty good. And then for the Midwest, not really much to talk about except for this band of showers over Nebraska. We're also seeing in the Northeast a couple passing showers through New York. Looking at the Gulf Coast, we're pretty clear. And in the West, we're seeing some pretty good weather for the next few days, Nico.
Yeah, we are. So right now we're going to be looking at our lifestyle segment of FSU weather. And right as we can see, most of the Big Bend region is looking at beautiful sunsets over here in Panama City. Down in the water, it's going to be an amazing sunset. In Lake Bradford, it looks like it's really nice conditions. Same thing here in St. George Island. And in the FSU Sportsplex, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful night to go out and play some sports with these really nice temperatures and clear skies. And speaking of clear skies, once again, another look at Bill Campbell Stadium because of just how beautiful tonight's sunset is looking. 79 degrees and clear, and a slight breeze from the northwest at 9 miles per hour. And due to these clear skies, Tallahassee does not anticipate any sort of airport delays. Pretty nice temperatures. So there's actually clear skies for our pilots. You do not need to worry about any sort of inconveniences when going to the airport. Same thing for most of the country, actually. We anticipate no delays or low delays for most of the country. Just in New York and Orlando and Denver is where we're actually seeing some sort of clouds. But other than that, clear skies for our pilots out there. And for our dog walk forecast, we can actually see it's going to be really nice tomorrow morning. Starting off at 51, things are going to gradually warm up all the way until 11 a.m. where it's going to level off around 68, and then it's going to just heat up just a little bit warmer onto the lower 80s. So it's actually going to be a really nice day to walk out on your own or with your furry friend. So for our stargazing forecast for tonight, things are looking actually really nice. So since we're not anticipating any sort of precipitation or clouds, we have predicted that it's going to be good viewing conditions, and with the 15% waning crescent, there's actually not going to be much light produced by the moon. So we're going to be able to see a lot of those distant stars, making it really good for stargazing. And for Thursday night football tomorrow, the Ravens against the Buccaneers, 73 down in Tampa. It's going to be looking like it's going to be great conditions. We're going to be hosting Georgia Tech, even though it's going to be cloudy on Saturday with 74 degrees. Hopefully FSU can brighten things up a little bit and create our winning ways once again. And our national champions are playing Virginia Tech on Thursday. Going to be great conditions, 70 degrees. And taking a look at our weekend forecast, things are going to be beautiful. Only Sunday is the day you have to worry about where we have a 60% chance of rain. Now I'm passing it off to Ryan for our look at our local.
Yeah, really, Sunday's the only day we kind of have to that the chances of precipitation are going to be a little bit higher than what we've seen lately. We've kind of been in a route where we haven't seen rain. It would be a welcome thing to bring some rain into the area. 79 right now at Bill Campbell Stadium, looking absolutely gorgeous. You notice our radar pretty clear because I did mention that drought. We could definitely use that rain. We're starting to see wildfire-prone conditions throughout much of the area. Temperature-wise, we're seeing about 79 degrees in the state capital, 77 out in Monticello, 76 in Crawfordville, and 78 in Sumatra, 77 in Valdosta, looking really great for this time of night. Temperature almanac, it's looking really great, but 82 degrees was our high temperature day. I thought it felt warmer, but overall, we were just a few degrees above average. So we were kind of on a cool trend for this time of year. Now we're getting back to kind of average temperatures for this time of year. Dew point wise, we're looking really great. Very comfortable time to be out and about. The only area where it's a little more humid is down by the coast. Apalachicola, you're seeing about 61 for your dew point temperature. So that water definitely brings more humidity into the air. Futurecast, nothing really to see for the next few days. Offshore flow brings some a little bit more moderate temperatures. We'll see a couple clouds pop up over the peninsula, but nothing really to talk of on the rest of the areas. Calm winds, not really a lot of precipitation in the area. 49 degrees forecasted high for tonight. Clear, looking absolutely great throughout the area. 58 degrees over in Thomasville. Again, I brought up earlier, maybe open your windows. I think it would be a great night to have your windows open. Maybe have those covers pulled over you. I think it's a great night to just be out and about in Tallahassee, really. 82 degrees forecasted high for tomorrow. Sunny, no clouds really to speak of. And northeast wind at about 4 miles per hour. So I think if you want to go out and study on Landis, just go out and do something outdoors tomorrow. It's going to be a great day to do that, whether it be going down to the res, wherever you want to go tomorrow. I think tomorrow is a great day to be out and about. Seeing at 79 in Bainbridge for tomorrow, 82 in Tallahassee. We are going to see some cloud cover. That's going to help keep our temperatures a little bit lower tomorrow. So 82 degrees is the high temperature for tomorrow. 80 degrees by Friday. Then when we get into the weekend, we're barely going to reach 80 on Saturday. And then Sunday is when we're going to see our showers and storms start to push through. And then if you're going out trick-or-treating come Monday, it just looks like a gorgeous night to be out and about. No rain really to interrupt the trick-or-treating. 81 degrees. It's going to be an absolutely gorgeous day to be out and about in Tallahassee. Then as we get into the next week, temperatures will stay about there. Nico.
Yeah, I agree, Ryan. It's definitely going to be a great week to go out and about. There's plenty of activities here at Florida State to go out and do. Tomorrow, Thursday, we're looking like we're going to have another great day just like today. Temperatures hovering around the lower 80s to upper 70s. And so it's going to be a great night to go out and do activities. So first we got our defending national champs women's soccer team playing their senior game, so our final home game of the season here in Tallahassee. They're hosting Virginia Tech, so that's going to be a great game to watch. And we also got our second round of FSU Circus Halloween shows. So Circus is going to be having 2 more shows, Thursday and Friday. So if you guys are interested in the circus, you guys should go and definitely check them out 7 p.m. tomorrow and Friday. So it's going to be really nice conditions. And if you guys want to follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/FSU weather and like us on Facebook at www.com/FSU, facebook.com/FSU weather. And if you're watching us live on YouTube like you are now, you should subscribe, youtube.com/FSU weather. And also follow us on Instagram at FSU weather and send us any photos or cool weather events that you think we should post up. So yeah, it looks like we're going to have great conditions. The only day we got to worry about is Sunday, as Ryan right now is going to go out and explain soon. So things are going to be looking really nice. Now I'm going to pass it on to Ryan for a look at the 7-day weekend.
That's right, Nico. I think Sunday is kind of going to be our day where the rain chances are a little bit higher, seeing about 60% chance of rain. So we haven't seen rain in a while, and I think it's definitely welcome rain. But the next few days looking absolutely gorgeous, sunny, only about 10% chance of rain next couple of days, 82 degrees to high tomorrow. Just overall great time to be out and about in Tallahassee. I hope you enjoy your Halloween and the rest of your night. Thanks so much for watching FSU Weather.